We had a really tough night here on the East Coast, and we're going to begin with the extreme weather. Now being slammed by what's left of Hurricane Ida. The system is currently over New England after cutting a destructive path through multiple states, affecting at least 57 million people. Here in New York, the entire subway system was shut down due to the flooding. Take a look at these pictures. And many roads were inundated, trapping drivers in their cars. At least 9 people were killed across the area. New York and New Jersey declared states of emergency.
The remnants of Ida also spun off multiple tornadoes, including this one in Bristol, Pennsylvania. Mola Lenghi is in Middlesex, New Jersey. Mola, what are you seeing this morning? Good morning.
Well, good morning, Vlad. Yeah, Middlesex, New Jersey, where nearby Bound Brook flooded overnight, creating this mess that you see here behind me. As you can see, the roads impassable. Authorities have it shut down. Nearby homes had to be evacuated this morning and overnight. But really, no matter where you were in the Northeast in the last 24 hours or so, you likely got clobbered by some sort of severe weather between the flooding and the tornado damage. Statistically, in the New York City area, this type of rain happens only once every 200 years.
Look at that tornado!
A tornado tore through southern New Jersey Wednesday, possibly the strongest to ever hit the state. It ripped the sides off some homes and turned others into a pile of rubble. As the remnants of Hurricane Ida spun off other possible twisters in Pennsylvania, the storm sent water pouring into New York City subways, forcing all trains to stop.
Oh my God!
Rain flooded the streets, reaching some car windows.
The cars are floating!
And lifting others right off the road. The National Weather Service issued a flash flood emergency for the first time ever in New York City, as strong winds blew rain sideways into the covered U.S. Open Stadium in Queens during a match, forcing play to be suspended. In Brooklyn, rescue crews worked to save drivers trapped in the flood. And this biker found himself in waist-deep water, apparently trying to deliver someone's dinner. Meanwhile, some buildings in Manhattan were no match for the flood. Water rushing into this apartment. Parts of the region got 3 inches of rain in just an hour, believed to be a record in the area. The destruction in the Northeast came after Ida wreaked havoc in parts of Virginia and Maryland, burying cars in mud. And in the Annapolis area, a tornado tore down power lines, leaving this tangled mess of trees and wires.
Well, the nearby Raritan River is expected to get 14 feet above flood stage by tomorrow. But as far as the storm, the remnants of Ida, Tony, that appears to be behind us.
Well, that is good news, Mola. Thank you very much. For more on the storm's path, we are joined now by CBS News meteorologist and climate specialist Jeff Berardelli. Jeff, good morning to you. What are you looking at?
Good morning, Tony. Good morning, everybody. If you were watching yesterday, you heard me say that this was a once-in-a-century event. Well, it turns out by some measurements, it's a once-in-a-500-year type event, meaning that we should only experience this once since our country's founding. That's how epic this was. Now, the system made its way across New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York City, Connecticut, producing rain rates up to 4 inches an hour. Now the heavy rain's about to exit southeast New England. But what's amazing about this system is it produced all this heavy rainfall across the Gulf Coast, then a bit of a break, and then a tremendous amount of heavy rain also in the Northeast. So what's going on? Storm made landfall, 17 inches of rain in places along the Gulf Coast. And then it was supercharged again once it got to the New York City area, Staten Island getting 13 to 14 inches of rain. Here's one of the reasons. Tropical connection of moisture. You can see this tail of moisture extending into the Gulf, into the Atlantic, and all of it dumping right on top of the New York City and Pennsylvania area. And then number 2, Ida merged with a jet stream and a cold front. So it supercharged Ida. And it wrung out all the moisture, all that tropical moisture connection, wrung it out right on top of New York City, on top of New Jersey, on top of the Hudson Valley, Connecticut, and now that system is moving out to the east. But the bottom line here is that a supercharged storm does obviously a lot more damage. Remember, it didn't do much along the way, and then all of a sudden it just kind of came back to life.
So, Jeff, we talk about these storms as once-in-a-century events or once in the history of the country events, and yet they're happening more frequently. It sure seems like. We're going to have to update our numbers. Why?
For sure. So, you know, what I like to say is climate change makes the impossible not only possible, but it makes it probable. The bottom line is a warmer atmosphere holds more moisture. It's like a bigger sponge. That sponge can hold more moisture, and then it can wring out even heavier rainfall. So in the Northeast, you can see the clear trend on this graphic. Over the last 60 years, we've seen a 50% increase in heaviest rain events in the New York City area and all across New England. And you can see that clear trend. When the air is 2 degrees warmer, which it is right now, it holds 8% more moisture, but storms do a really good job pulling all that extra moisture and kind of congregating it and kind of bolstering that even more. In Harvey, we saw 20 to 40% more rain than we would have otherwise seen without climate change. And infrastructure and asphalt in the New York City area and Houston area makes a big difference.
I had to go to New Jersey last night for a funeral. It was very, very, very scary on the roads last night. And this is just you call it a remnant. This is what a remnant looks like.
This is going to happen a lot more. It's going to get a lot worse in the future as we keep warming the planet.
And as you say, Gail, a remnant, and we're going to go to Louisiana now, where they got the brunt of it.
Exactly.
Jeff, as always, my friend, thank you very much.
You're welcome.